Do you believe we have generational issues that impact culture and the employee experience?
So I have to actually say, 35 years in the business, is it really a generational issue in the workplace? Or is it now the generation is bringing forward all of the issues that have already existed in the workplace?
I really do feel that the call out that's happening, especially by the younger generation, it's been long overdue. But we just are, as an older baby boomer, we just kind of ignored it. We accepted that you don't have to be yourself. Anyways, great point.
I mean, when I started doing this, just real briefly, I was hosting meetings for companies 20, 25 years ago. And the stuff we used to be able to say at a national sales meeting and give people a hard time and pick on people and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it was fun, but it was not, but maybe not to some of them. And I've always said, a lot of people go, well, the pendulum has swung too far. And I go, it's a pendulum. That's how they work. And it should have. It was way too far this side. It's got to swing back, and we have to realize the impact we're having on people. How have you adapted your policies, your processes, and your work environments to accommodate the different needs of the different generations?
You just need to be one step ahead to be somebody's mentor, to help them learn whatever the new thing is. So it's much more skills-based, it's much more fluid. It's not how long have you been here, it's what can you do and what do you know and how can you help me? And so we're really working in our culture to do that very differently instead of the mindset from years past of I have to be older and wiser for many, many years. And that's really making it much more fluid and about getting the work done and about those people who can get the result. Doesn't matter how long somebody's been in role. If you can get the result, let's share.
When we started looking at some of these generational aspects of how we approached it, it really wasn't a uniform panacea for all ills. It was, if you are in this segment, that market, so what is the maximum level of options you have to get work done? Because that's the other thing, right? The whole pendulum shift. It's either to work, not work, too political, not political, so we can get lost in the details. I used to be a journalist for 5 years, long before all this HR stuff, which was purely accidental. But the big thing in journalism you learn is content is good, context is all the more important.
What successes have you had in building the skills of curiousness and a learn-it-all mindset in your organization where innovation thrives?
One of the things that I've reflected on pretty often is I actually was an instructional designer many, many years ago when the Americans with Disabilities Act was passed, and I was designing web-based training. And by the way, back then we used HTML editing tools to design. One of the things that really, really sunk into me at the time was by making our e-learning Section 508 compliant, yes, I still remember that, that we were actually helping everybody.
What successes have you had in building the skills of curiousness and a learn-it-all mindset?
Since we're all continuous learners here, I'm reflecting on why I had the reaction to sort of the multi-generational workplace. And I think there are certain parts of our identity where at Shure, we are focused on helping people express that identity and have community and such. There are some obvious ones: culture, race, the LGBTQIA+ community. And there are others where I think we view it as part of the intersectionality of our identities.